All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of repairs to be made.
But I think just the fact that you have it warm in all the places all the way across is a win. Not tested quite yet.
Hi friends, welcome back to the shop. Today is what I hope to be relatively quick video on just some quick maintenance on our 1999 Chevy Metro. You can actually use this on your car. It doesn't have to be a Metro. If it's older and you've got a rear window defroster, you probably have experienced issues with your rear window defroster not defrosting all the way across. So after going through all the trouble to get heat back in the Metro, we discovered that the rear window defroster doesn't defrost all the way. The top half of the window will go all the way across and the bottom half stops to about here. As you can see, my rear window defogger does not defog the entire rear window. You get about half. Did a little bit of digging and I found Frostfighter has a defroster repair kit, which as you can see, this is the whole kit. It's very, very little. It comes with your instruction booklet, masking tape, and the actual repair paint, I guess, glue. It's conductive paint. It's gonna be really fun to play with. So back in February, I was so excited to get this kit and fix my rear window defroster so I could drive my car again. And then I read the instructions that says it has to be 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 75 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer for you to use this kit unless you wanna have heat lamps and stuff pointed at your window. So it is now September. We have finally made it through enough other projects where we can revisit this one. And let's go ahead and get started. First step, clean your glass. So as you can see, kind of now that I've cleaned the window, we've got little breaks. We've got actual breaks in our defroster lines, and that's what's causing the defroster to not work. Fortunately for us, that's what this kit repairs. All right, so now with the outside and inside of my glass clean, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some random tape and mark each and every single one of the breaks so that I know exactly where to apply the masking tape for the repair. All right, so as you can see, there's a lot of repairs to be made. What I did was I marked every single actual break in our line and every single weak point in the line that might cause a future break, because ultimately I would love to tint this rear window and I don't want to find out after I've tinted it that there's a weak spot. All right, now with every single part that I need to repair marked, I'm going to spend some time actually taping and masking it off, and then we get to the good part. So this is our actual grid repair stiff, and as you can see, it's just kind of nail polish like. It kind of actually even smells just like nail polish. Maybe as a woman, I'm uniquely qualified to repair rear window defrosters. We'll find out. As you can see by the fun assortment of colors of tape, we ran out about maybe 1/3 of the way through our job. This does give you a nice visual so that you can see how many repairs the tape in the kit will run you. So fortunately for us, we had another roll of extra skinny masking tape on hand so that I could finish the masking job. Now, reading ahead in the instructions, it does say that like any good nail polish job, you're gonna do 2 coats of the repair. Now, you wanna make sure it's a little wider, a little thicker, and a little longer than the damaged part to make sure that the conductive material is spread out over an adequate area and make the repair effective. One of the most important pieces in the instructions I wanna call out is where it says to remove the masking tape while the conductive material is still wet. So after you've done 2 coats, go ahead and pull off your masking tape while the second coat is still wet. This is to make sure that you don't accidentally damage your repair by removing the masking tape when it's dry.
Okay.
So one thing I want to call out is now that I've fixed a couple of these and it's still obviously wet, it does dry quickly. So when you have as many repairs as I do, you want to only fix 2 of them and then remove the masking tape and move on to the next 2. Otherwise, your repair liquid is going to dry, and when you go to remove the masking tape, I can guarantee it will actually damage your repair. I know, because I just did it. Okay, so what will help when you're trying to pull off the tape and it's still wet is I took a spudger and just kind of got the tape started. And then when you're going to be removing the tape, you want to pull the tape in such a way that it is straight down and away from your repair. Or straight up and away from your repair. That will give you the best result. Thank you. Okay, now that you can see we've got some repairs going that are very bright copper colored. So after you've let it dry for 10 minutes, you're going to run the rear window defroster for 10 minutes. It's a very critical step to cure the liquid. And while it's running for 10 minutes, you're actually going to want to monitor it for hot spots to make sure that if there are any overheating or hot spots, it's very likely that that repair did not take, and you're going to want to reapply it and wait, let it dry another 10 minutes, and then cure it for another 10 minutes before actually testing the repair. It does call that out in the very small, tiny instruction. There's actually 2 little bits of paper in the kit. So make sure that you read all of it, including the troubleshooting section, so that you, when you go to test it, it works for you.
To test this, all we did was use our infrared thermometer, Harbor Freight, well worth the purchase, and just aimed it at each of these spots. The very bottom corner seems to be the hottest one, right at 99 to 100, depending upon the little spot that it hits. But then it's roughly about the same, 98, 99 for each of those above it. Then we go a little bit higher. It's roughly about the same. It may start to cool down some.
One important thing is that the instructions do not call out what temperature overheating is. It simply states to place your hand on top of the glass, and you can feel that it's very hot down here and less hot over in the other areas. So
it doesn't really help you out a whole heck of a lot if they don't call out what overheating is.
It's quite likely that I'll need to redo that lower section, since I think that's where I damaged it pulling off the masking tape anyway.
It's quite possible. Your plugs are on the outside of these particular windows, so that may have a play in it.
It is warm right here.
But I think just the fact that you have it warm in all the places all the way across is a win. Not tested quite yet, but at least it's showing that that heat is going all the way across.
Okay, so after our initial cure time, we found that there were a couple hot spots. Went ahead, masked them back up, painted them again, because the troubleshooting solution in the instruction booklet is to apply more product. It's an interesting troubleshooting guide. When in doubt, apply some more. So now that I have the rear window defroster running again and it's curing for the second time, I can feel like physically that it is significantly cooler in that one spot that I redid. We can throw the thermal heat gun on it and we can see that it's a much lower temperature now than it was initially. So I think that now, after the second application, we're good. At this point, we're gonna let this finish curing and then try to give you a test so you can see the rear window defrost hopefully in its entirety.
As you can see, we've got a very frosty morning in southern Ohio. This is the perfect weather to test our rear window defroster. Okay, let's see how we did. We're going to go ahead and call it because I think we can see very clearly where we stand with our test, and it looks like I need to go back and fix a few places. So if you can recall, every single piece of tape, now that it's all faded, represents one repair that I made in the back of this glass. So you can see where some repairs did absolutely fantastic and resolved the problem, and other repairs along the way just didn't resolve the problem at all. So when the weather warms back up again, I'll have to go back over these sections and give us another test run. But I think for the purposes of this repair tutorial, that can wrap us up. All right, so as you can see, this product does work. It does actually repair these old school lines as long as you don't have window tinting or anything on top of it. And as you can tell from the test, I still have some additional work to do, but it does show the improvement from before and after. We hope this video helped you out and gave you the confidence to do this repair yourself. If you like our content, go ahead and hit subscribe, smash that like button, and be sure to hit notifications so that you know the next time we put out a video. Until next time, friends, thank you. Take care, stay safe. See you then.